So we're going to learn how to outsource like a boss. Same jumper as well. Thought that would be good for continuity. And it is part of my branding. I'm being kind of apparently recognised for having black and white stripes. So go with it. That's fine by me. So, okay, outsource like a boss. I'm Lou. I started my journey back in January 2018. I was working as a manager or like a supervisor in a call centre, and I had loads of other jobs before that, and I was just like, do you know what, all of my skills, I can go out there and I can do this alone. So that's what I did, and I was working as a writer and kind of a generalist VA rather than having a specific niche. You know, I kind of just said yes to everything, learned a lot of new skills, which has been really, really helpful along the way. Then last year I had a bit of a rough time towards the end of the year with a client that just really wasn't working out for me. So I ended up parting company with them, and that's when I decided, right, it's time for me to get a team. So that's what I've done. And since January this year, I've had a team of VAs behind me, and I tend to work on the power hours, strategy calls, one-to-ones with clients, help them untangle their mess, and help them get shit done. That's my tagline. And then the VAs, my lovely team, do the work. So that's about me, really. I live at home alone with 2 cats and I'm happy. My lovely little life. So outsourcing, we're going to talk about what, when, why, how, overcoming concerns, and the do's and don'ts. So there's a lot of common themes that come up when people are talking about hiring out. So, you know, obviously we can do a bit of a Q&A at the end as well, which would be really good. If you've got anything specific that you would like to ask that hasn't been covered. So what is outsourcing? I'm going to whiz through these a bit quick because I'm not going to teach you how to suck eggs. So outsourcing is quite simply when you hire somebody else to do the work for you. You can outsource to a company or an individual, and then they may outsource to a team themselves as well. So I would say, you know, straight away, make sure that you know what that flow is when you're kind of venturing out into the outsourcing world. It's really common practice. You know, everybody does it, but it does have drawbacks if it's not done properly. Obviously, we'll talk about that later. In the freelance world, people are often undermined and undervalued, and the phrase that gets bandied around, which I absolutely detest, is farming out the grunt work. That's horrible. We don't know. If anyone says, oh, I need to farm out some grunt work to you, Lou, I'd say, no, thank you. You can go and find a different team, because that's not what my lot do. You know, we're all super skilled from admin, like right the way through. We've all got really strong skill set. And obviously, you know, this is including you when I say we, and our skill set shouldn't be undervalued or undermined. So none of that here. Thank you very much. What can I outsource? Anything that doesn't need to be completed by you yourself. I've got a really good task that I'm going to share the link to with you to help you kind of discern it. But my attitude is, what can't you outsource? You know, what can I outsource? What can't you outsource? You need to be in your zone of genius. So anything else really can be outsourced as long as you get the right person. So it could be admin, social media scheduling, you know, anything that doesn't need your direct hand, that could just be given to somebody else to do. What should I outsource? So I really like this question because it makes you think. And I know that a lot of people are quite resistant to outsourcing. So as I say, I've got that download that I'll be sharing with you at the end, but and that really helps you to discern what you should be outsourcing. But we tend to stick to these rules here. So if you're not good at it, if it's not within your skill set, it could be design, writing, social media, content, you know, whatever it is. If you're not very good at it yourself, and you don't have the time or the inclination to learn the skill and learn it well, give it to somebody who's already good at it. I mean, that to me is just logical. If you don't like or love doing it, so you're always going to procrastinate, you're going to put things off if you don't love or like doing them. And every single day, we should all be trying to do what we love. You know, I mean, I think I probably spend 90% of my day doing things I love doing, which is absolutely amazing. And that's the freedom that of choice that you get when you start to outsource the things that you don't love or like doing. Like for me, bookkeeping, no, somebody else can do that. If it's not your primary business focus, so that is quite broad, but again, you should be staying in your zone of genius. So what makes you money? Do the things that you like doing, but the things that actually generate that revenue. If it's, fannying about with paperwork, that's not your primary business focus. Somebody else can do that. And then the last one that people don't really like, if you love it, but you shouldn't be doing it, scrolling on social media, anything that kind of saps your time, or that you get kind of lost in, those tasks that, or it might be like you love to design things, but you get bogged down in the like the detail of it, and you keep editing, or the same with like blog posts and stuff. I'll knock up a blog post on, and then it takes you 2 hours because you're fiddling about with it. So it would be much more efficient to get somebody else to do those things. It's not to say that you can't do them, but if it's having a negative impact on the rest of your business, then hand it over. Okay, when should I outsource? So I think that there are only a finite amount of hours in the day. So, we can't create more time for ourselves in terms of how long a day is or how many hours that we can work. So we're all busy trying to do everything. We're trying to run our businesses, complete our client work, do our own marketing, keep up our social media presence, keep our accounts up to date, be reactive and responsive to our clients' needs, and then not to mention have some semblance of a family life and a social life, and eat well, keep the house clean, look after the kids and or pets, exercise, make time for our hobbies, passion projects and side hustles. So it's just mental how busy we all are. And, it's never too early to outsource, in my opinion. So if you're on the cusp of burnout, you need to get some of that work off your desk. If you want your business to grow, but you don't have enough hours in the day in order to do it, so you can't bring in more clients, for example, because your time, the time constraint is there. You're kind of like letting your marketing kind of go a little bit and stuff like that. And that creates that feast or famine. If you're consistent, your clients will be consistent. But if you've got those peaks and troughs, then your business, your revenue will have those peaks and troughs. So it's something to kind of consider. If you've hit a sort of a ceiling in growing your business. So if you're sort of considering scaling back, like, oh God, I can't take on any more clients because I'm too busy. I mean, you're stopping your business growth dead in its tracks there. Why are you doing that? Why not pass off some other stuff so that you create more time for yourself to address the things that you need to be doing? You can have that steady stream of clients and know that, the work's being handled. Then, yeah, if you're busy but you're cash poor, and this is something that a lot of people find, that they're at their desks for 12 hours a day, but they're only billing for 2 or 3 of those hours, and it's just ridiculous. You need to be working and getting paid. You need to, your time is money, that old chestnut. And if you're busy doing all of the other things that comes with running a business, you are not getting paid to do those things. Therefore, it's not a very good or productive use of your time. And if you're occupied with the necessary evils, so I've kind of covered that. So yeah, all your paperwork, all your boring stuff like your bits and bobs, it's if you're spending too much time completing those necessary evils, then you're not, your business won't be able to grow. You're not going to be making enough money. And then again, if you're overwhelmed or you find yourself procrastinating or you lack motivation, generally speaking, that is because you're doing a lot of stuff that you don't really want to be doing or that you shouldn't be doing yourself. It's exhausting, and procrastination comes from overwhelm a lot of the time. And it's just, oh, I've got all this stuff to do. When am I going to do it? And it just makes you miserable. So you have to kind of pump yourself up for the day. You don't feel excited and enthusiastic and motivated naturally at the beginning of your day because you've got a load of crap to deal with. So that's when, really, if any of those ring true, time to outsource. Okay, why? I mean, there's loads of reasons why, so I'm going to try and whiz through these a bit quick, but we've all got a tendency to try and save money by doing things ourselves, and that's not efficient. It's not productive. We don't save money by doing that. What we're doing is it's eating into our time where we could be making more money. So it's a false economy trying to do things yourself. So you need to consider what you would be doing with that time that's freed up, like how, you know, what the value of that time is for you and what you could be doing when somebody else is taking away the other bits and bobs that you yourself are getting bogged down with. So that frees up your oh, hang on, I've skipped ahead. So yeah, value of time versus money. So if you're outsourcing, let's say, an hour of admin a day at £35 an hour, but your power hours are charged at £99, straight away you can see that extra hour is more valuable, right? That's an obvious example, really. Freeing up time for business growth and development. So you could spend the time that you've got on a non-billable task, perhaps, but it could be one that will bring you in new clients, like networking or improving your marketing. So it's, you know, your time is so valuable. And obviously having like a VA or whatnot, VA's time is really valuable, but they're doing what they love to do. So it's, you know, you're helping each other out, really. That's kind of the exchange. That's what you're getting. And the way that I see it is that nothing can grow unless it has space in which to grow. So if you're too busy or you've got those time constraints, you're not going to be able to grow your business because you've got no space in which to grow. You've got no time in which to grow. Streamlining obviously saves you time and effort and stress and all of that. So most VAs in particular are really good at seeing the bigger picture. So they're able to help you create and implement streamlined and automated processes as well that kind of allow for more efficiency, and it's a more effective way of doing things. It's something that's often neglected because you're too busy to start putting processes in place. And also to document those processes so that if you want a holiday, somebody else can take over and they've got a document there that tells them exactly how to do things if they need to. Wider network, the opportunities. So most people that you outsource to will already have a huge network of clients and other people in their industry. So straight away you have access to their wider network. So they'll be able to recommend and refer you to other people, and they themselves and also refer you to other people as in terms of what you do, but also be able to recommend you someone that they can vouch for if they themselves aren't the person to do the job that you need doing. So that's really, really useful. The added value. So I always say in business, you need three things. You need knowledge, resources, and support. That's what helps business growth. So, you know, the people that you outsource to will have that knowledge, and they can teach you things. You know, they're not just necessarily going to do the stuff for you. They can actually teach you things as well. So that's really valuable. Sorry, I've lost my page. So they can add value across the breadth of your business, suggesting improvements, telling you about things that you might not be aware of. And then resources galore. I mean, we've all got so much stuff, and between us, we've kind of pooled everything into one resources area. Anything, you know, and it goes anything from sort of like mindset right the way through to kind of technical things. You know, the amount of resources that come with hiring a person, if they're a sharer like I am, then you know, that's really beneficial. And getting from where you are to where you want to be. So outsourcing allows your business to move forward more rapidly, and it enables you to achieve your milestones quicker and with more ease. So it's because you're simply put, you're getting things done. It's that simple. So again, going back to what I said before, outsource if you're not good at it, if you don't like or love doing it, if it's not your primary business focus, and if you love it, but you shouldn't be doing it. So how do I outsource? How do I outsource? Okay, so the first thing you need to figure out is what you want to outsource. So I've obviously got that link at the end for you. And once you figured out what you want to outsource, you can begin your hunt. So I recommend starting by asking other people that you know in business that you've already got in your network, who they use, or how they initially found that person, because chances are they're going to be able to recommend you somebody that's fabulous. And obviously by proxy, you're going to be able to trust them by proxy, because they've got somebody that you already trust vouching for them, that you can trust them as well. So that's really, really useful. Or you can always ask in your Facebook communities, or if you want somebody local, then a quick Google search will bring people up that are local. But obviously it's not necessary anymore to have that. So yeah, figure out what you want to outsource and then get hunting. Okay, so how do I find the best fit for me? It's really, really important that you find somebody or some ones that you get on with for a start. Your personalities match up. They need to fit with your ethos, your values, your morals, your mission, your vision. If you're not already clear on those things, you're not going to be able to have that conversation with somebody. So if you're not clear, get clear on those things, because you want to convey that to the other person. You want to make sure that you and the other person or people are on the same wavelength as you and have the same business ethos. You want to be clear on your expectations, turnaround times, tone, professionality. Like me, I'm kind of like, well, I'm Lou, so I don't get corporate clients. I don't want corporate clients. That's just, and that works for me. But you might be different. But as long as you are clear on those particular things, then you shouldn't have a problem. But sometimes people set their expectations a bit too high, which causes unnecessary stress for everybody, for you, for the other person. It means that they're going to have to be reactive rather than proactive, which again is not a very good way to be in business. It doesn't drive business forward. You're just constantly trying to catch up and you get distracted and all of those things. So if you set your expectations in a realistic, every time you think, I expect this in the 48-hour turnaround, just add a day on. That day's not going to hurt you. Just add a day on. 72-hour turnaround is perfect. I always say 4 days to clients. 9 times out of 10, it's back to them within the 2 days. But the expectation is that's how long it's going to take for that work to be turned around. So then, get to know them as well. Get on a Zoom call. Don't rely on emails and Messenger and things like that. Get on a Zoom call and take some time to actually sit and have a conversation. It's not an interview. They're getting to know you as well, and it's a two-way street. So having these chilled conversations in an informal sort of setting is a really good way for you to pick up on the vibe and everything else. You've got body language at work and all of those things that you don't get when you're talking on email. Also, people have a tendency towards formality in the written word. So, but actually when you get chatting to them, it's much more relaxed. You're getting to know the real them and they're getting to know the real you. And I think to me, that is one of the most important things. So, and then offer a paid trial is the other thing. I mean, I don't always do this with my team. There's only 2 people that I haven't worked with or hadn't worked with before. So what I did, I had a chat with them, got to know them, really liked them, looked at their websites, looked at their reviews, looked at the quality of the work that they were producing. And then I just got them to do some work for me, because I want to trial. I want to know how good they are before I go, go to a client. So, and they're all fabulous. So if it's just something simple, an hour's task, there's no harm in that, but it should always be paid, because that's just respectful, isn't it? Okay, so how do you get the most from outsourcing? Right, so this is a bit of a one that people are a bit about, but I tend to say to people, your lack of planning is not my emergency. If you plan in advance, or you work together with the person that you're working with to get a plan in place, it's a lot easier for everybody to do things. It's so hard if it's just chucking things at people, because it gets messy, and that again it's not a good way to operate. If you can streamline things, streamline them, but definitely have that plan in advance. Identify your deliverables, know what you need. I've got a guy that I work with sometimes, and and I love him to pieces, but he never knows exactly what he wants from me. And so I'm unable to deliver anything because he doesn't really know what he specifically wants. Take the guesswork out of it, you know. Give clear deadlines. You know, you obviously, this person or people, they're going to want to support you and your business. So having those conversations in advance is really important. Yeah, ask for what you need. Literally tell them and have a conversation. If you don't know your deliverables, have the conversation with them and ask, like, this is what I do. This is kind of what I need. What do you think? What can you suggest? They're always going to have suggestions. If they're worth their salt, they're definitely going to have loads of ideas, like, oh, I could do this for you, I could do this for you, and then you can pick it apart and make that decision together. And then, of course, agree all terms in advance. So get those contracts over, agree the rates, agree the SLAs, you know, delivery times, etc., etc. Formatting, things like that. I know that people write, I mean, I do a lot of content for people. I'd never send something over unformatted, but the amount of people that do is shocking to me. So it's those tweaks that you need to agree with the person, those expectations and the terms, as I say. So, excuse me. Okay, so everybody worries about, you know, my business is my baby, it's precious to me. That is perfectly understandable. It's perfectly reasonable. I'm guilty of it as well. I'm like, oh, I don't want them to do it. I want to do it. So, yeah, you're going to have some concerns. So what you need to do is learn to let go. And it's easier said than done. But I think the key is really getting to know the person and knowing that the quality of work is there. And if you're on the same wavelength, I mean, I've got a friend who, excuse me, who's a business friend, but she's a good friend as well now. And we do each other's, she makes things look pretty and I do write all of her content. She doesn't have to tell me what to do at all because I just know, because I know her well and I understand her business. And she does it, you know, the opposite in terms of making things look pretty for me, hence this lovely presentation, because she just knows, she gets it. So if you can find somebody like that, that is amazing. So again, it's all about getting to know them and making sure that you're operating on the same wavelength. So yeah, so, and it's their reputation on the line. So if you're happy with the person you've chosen, you've got evidence that they're established, they're capable, you've met them through a reputable referral or a mutual connection, uses them and they can vouch for them, then you can rest assured that they're going to be trustworthy. Okay, most of the time the fear is because you've been doing everything yourself right from the start, but the person that you're hiring out to, or people, have made their business and a name for themselves by doing the very thing that you're asking them to do. So it's their reputation on the line. So if they're shoddy, if they're unreliable, you know, you will know that within a very short space of time. You won't have wasted too much money. And, you know, if you kind of have to think, oh, I've made a bit of an error in judgment here, and you're not going to recommend them to anyone else, their business isn't going to get much help. In fact, you might even bitch about them behind their backs to other people in the industry. So it's in their best interests to make sure that they get it right for you, you know. And those of us who work in any industry where we're helping people all the time, and that's what we love, your success is their success. If I'm helping my clients' businesses grow and I see the evidence of how I've helped, I'm not only am I successful in what I do, but I feel that sense of achievement as well. I absolutely love it. So the people that you're hiring out to are going to feel like that as well. They're going to want to get things right for you and make, you know, really enable your business to grow. So yeah, your success is their success. So it's mutually beneficial, really. And then if you are still really struggling with the, you know, with the letting things go, start off small. Most people offer like ad hoc sort of hours and whatnot. You could say, okay, well, I'm just going to give them this, or I'm just going to give them that, and start off with the little bits. And, you know, and eventually what will happen is it will be a bit more. And if you want to sort of transition slowly, that's absolutely fine as well. You don't have to suddenly hand over everything to one person or a team of people. You are allowed to go at your own pace. And most people, I mean, my lot, we're very accommodating with that. But what we find is that people go from a month of ad hoc to a 10 to 20 hour retainer the following month, because they're more than happy and they've realised just how much they can do with that free time. So it's it's an exciting process, really. And if you're new to outsourcing, you're going to want to kind of, experience that, because you will be pleasantly surprised, I'm going to say. Do's and don'ts. This is where I get a bit bossy. So don't skip the search for the right fit. Put in that time and dedication to speaking to people, or make sure that you find somebody that is already recommended through somebody that you already get on with really well in business, because that's an easy way of kind of getting in there a bit quick. Don't treat people like an employee, because they're not. They work with you, not for you. So having that respect is really, really important. Don't expect them to be at your beck and call. My phone hasn't been on for 3 days, my business phone, because I'm doing things like this, so I can't have the distraction or anything like that. The chances are, nobody's going to hopefully fall off a cliff or anything like that, but the expectation is there that I am, I'm a busy woman. So, send me an email and I'll get back to you. Don't be afraid to ask. Don't ever be afraid to say, I don't know what I'm doing. Can you help? Or I've got this thing that I really need to do, but I really can't be bothered. Can you do it? Or, how do I do this more efficiently? Or this isn't something I want to give to you, but I'm struggling with X, Y, Z, and I want to do it myself. Do you know about it? Any of those things build up, that builds rapport, it builds up that connection. And chances are then that person will start asking you as well. There's no harm in picking each other's brains when you're in that working relationship. And don't worry. It's a learning curve for you. So it takes time to build up that trust and that relationship with the person. And it takes time for you to be confident in handing over what the things that you want to hand over. But once you have that, the freedom that it creates is absolutely amazing. Do respect them as a business owner, because they're running a business as well. Do include them in your overall business picture. So the more they know about your business plans and what you do and how you do it, the more they're going to be able to contribute and help you, and the more they're going to care as well. They're going to want to see the success, and they're going to recommend you to people. There's all of the benefits that come with it. So do be you, do be you, and allow them to be them. So we don't all have to be corporate-y and all of this nonsense. Just be yourself, and then let them be themselves, and all will be well and good. Do look to them for support, seek support. Most people who are in a helping industry, they want to help in lots of ways. It's not just what they get paid for. They want to help in all other areas as well. I think that we're naturally inclined to be like that. So if you need support in another area, why not seek out the support from them? Do build a long-lasting relationship with them as well, because even if you have months where you don't work together, you've got them, they're always there for you to go back to, and you've already got that established long-lasting relationship. So I've got some clients that I had to sort of back off of at the beginning of the first lockdown, but that doesn't stop us from emailing each other and messaging each other and stuff. We're still in touch, because it's that relationship is already established. And then I know that I'm going to be the first person that they come to when they do eventually have work that they need to get done by somebody else. So it's really beneficial for everyone, really. So that's that. Right, I hope I didn't sort of whiz through it too quickly, but if you want to connect with me, LinkedIn is my playground. I love it. I'm on there all the time. I do sometimes put drunken ramblings on there and then delete them the next day. So you might see that happen, but yeah, come and hang out with me on LinkedIn. My website is louiseharman.com, and you can email me if you want to, lou@louiseharman.com. And if you go onto my website, there's a banner at the top which is subscribe to my mailing list, and that then you will get that free download, which is I call it the 3 things task. So it's a nice little activity, and it really helps you it's fun as well, and it helps you to identify what you need to be outsourcing versus what you need to be doing yourself. So definitely go and join my mailing list. I'm not a spammer, so don't worry about that. You can always unsubscribe. But yeah, go and join my mailing list and grab that free download. And yeah, and give me a shout if you need my help, really. So yeah, lovely.